Hello, everybody. What is going on? Kunal here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, wild day in the markets. You know, we had the typical kind of Trump news stuff, and then we had the terrorist stuff in Barcelona. So the market was just under a lot of pressure today. I do thank everybody for the messages and the tweets asking how I was. I am here right in the center of Barcelona, a couple blocks from where the action was, but I was at the computer trading when it happened, so I'm safe and sound and working away and doing my thing. I want to talk to you a little bit about something that we can do when the market gets like this. You can see the market was down 120 points on the NASDAQ, 1.9%, 1.5% on the S&P. VIX was up 32%. And so what do? So like yesterday, the last few days, the market's been looking strong, right? It was right back near highs. And so most of the time when you're making your watch list, you have, what do you have? You have a list of longs, right? Like my whole list of stuff was longs, right? Because it looked like the market wanted to break out. And so when the market kind of reverses like this, what do? Well, for me, what I always do is I keep a couple ETFs on my list, namely TQQ, SVXY, and UVXY. And so if the market flips on a lid and I need some shorts, what I can do is play the general indexes of these ETFs, and you'll get really, really good range on these bottoms. And so for me, today, when the market gets like this, I like to play UVXY. So, you know, ended up goofing up my day a little bit because I was so ice cold in the morning, but this UVXY saved me when the markets kind of turned. And so, you know, how you want to do this is once you start to see that weakness in the markets and you think, okay, we can't, you know, we could get some real action, what I'll do is I'll bring up the UVXY chart, and I'd seen that at gap today, so I was already kind of interested in it. That gap is a sign of strength, right? And so right off the bat, we knew that the market was going to be a little bit weak, and so when it came and pulled back and it just had this huge explosion right here where it went to 34, I missed this whole thing. You know, I missed this whole thing, but that's okay. You know, at this point now I know, because I'm looking at the NASDAQ also, and I'm looking at my general watch list, I know that everything is weak. And so, you know, what I do is I just wait. So as this thing ripped over the VWAP, what I'm doing is I just wait for any tap back near that. So like the next candle, see how like it came right back down to the VWAP? I start longing over here with the stop under, and now I'm able to play this for the run. And so I just bought a few hundred shares, and it was literally just scale out along the way. And then later on, what you can see here is it kind of shook itself out. It broke its trend line. I missed this run right here. But as this thing started to flag out, what I want to be doing is when I see this kind of pattern where it's kind of flagging out like this, we have to be real mindful that the market could just have a big dump, because the UVXY is a 3X ETF that measures really fear in the market, volatility, right? And so when you very rarely see a flat top breakout kind of towards the end of the day in UVXY, it's more of a rare thing. It's a little bit more choppy typically, where it won't do anything. See, like the last couple of days, like there's no movement. When the market's strong, like it's not going to give you anything. But today, when I see this type of setup, I've got to load this thing back in. So I added this thing right here into this flag. I always like to be a little bit early and anticipate the play so I can get a better price. I don't have to chase it up. You know, in trading, you chase, you die, right? And so I want to be able to get close to my stop. So I added this thing at 34.70 into the close, and then now it's just off to the races, right? I'm scaling out along the way into this push. I literally sold like 100 shares at a time, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Now, a lot of people, they like to hold for the whole move, and the reason they want to do that is so they can keep the whole gain. And obviously that's a smarter move in this particular instance, because, you know, I could have made thousands of dollars extra, but not all the time do these things trend. You know, oftentimes it can do this, where you get this move from 31 to 35, and then it just dies back, and you're like, here goes all your gains, right? And your P&L could fluctuate thousands, you know, so I like to scale out. And then once this happened, I was pretty much done for the day. And you can see later on, there did give more opportunity here. You got another flag right here into the close, and then it really ran hot. Guys, one of the things about this particular ETF is, think about this if you have a smaller account. You had 100, 200 shares of this thing that you were trading back and forth. You still might have made $500, right, or even more. Just with a couple hundred shares or 100 shares back and forth, you could have made hundreds of dollars, right? So this type of thing, when the market gets like this, don't worry about all the junk on your watch list. Be prepared to switch things over and then play this range, even with the smaller account. Don't worry that this is $40. Remember, it's all about range. If you have 100 shares of something and it moves $5, how much you make? $500. That's a lot better than trying to take something that's $10 and trying to squeeze 10, 15 cents out of it, right? The range is what allows us to trade things back and forth too, but it also gives you more leeway, right? If something's going to have a $6 or $7 range, then you don't have to be perfect to the penny, right? You can give yourself room to move around and scale in and scale out. So hopefully that helps, and you guys can use this type of instrument when the market gets a little bit wild. I sure do. Take care.